All right, so our article first starts with Tainan is known for its rich history and has many old buildings to prove it.
All right, so we talked a little bit about this in our introduction. It's a very old city. It's got a lot of really cool buildings like old forts, which protect the city from enemy ships, and some really interesting old temples as well. But I think this article has a certain building in mind, what we're talking about today. The article says, one of those buildings is easy to pass by. Okay, so now we use the phrase pass by here, which is to say that we go past something. So, for example, 3 buses have passed by so far, but none of them has been the one we want. All right, so 3 buses have gone by. Now, why would it be easy to pass by?
I guess it's maybe somewhere that everyone can see.
Right.
For example, the article says, in fact, it's the Tainan Film Center, and it has been in Tainan City Center since 1932.
All right.
That's why it's so easy for everyone to walk by so often.
All right, so it's in the middle of the city, and it's been there since 1932, which is a pretty long time. It's going on probably like 80 years or something like that, close to that. So I'm not sure if I've ever seen it, especially because the article says, from the outside, the Tainan Film Center looks like an old home.
Oh,
Okay, so to me it probably would have just seemed like a house, so I wouldn't really have paid attention to it, probably.
I think it's really one of those buildings where you have to know what it is
Right.
in order to recognize it.
Right, that's true.
And because we didn't know about this yet, so maybe we passed by and unfortunately didn't get a chance to visit.
To see what it is.
But
yeah.
it's okay. The article will give us some hints and clues for your next visit to Tainan. It says, it sits in a park next to the Great South Gate and Confucius Temple. Okay, so next time you go, look out for these 2 places.
Right, okay.
Yeah, so let's take a look at what the word temple means first. T-E-M-P-L-E. It's a noun and it means a building devoted to worshiping a god or gods. For example, Confucius Temple is a place where people pay their respects to Confucius, the philosopher, the teacher, and maybe all the other teachers who followed in his path.
Right, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, how could we use temple in an example, though?
Well, we can say this. For example, we say, my grandmother visits the temple every weekend to pray for our family and good health.
Okay, that's I get it now. So actually, I've actually been to the Confucius Temple. I don't know if I've still seen the film center, but I know that the Confucius Temple is one of my favorite places in Tainan. It's very beautiful and quiet there. Now, let's read a bit more about the film center. The article says, approach the center and you see signs explaining the building's unique history. All right, so let's talk about how to get to this building. We use the verb approach, which is spelled A-P-P-R-O-A-C-H, approach. Approach means to get closer to someone or something. For example, the dog watched out the window as the mailman approached the front door of the house. That means the mailman got closer to the front door of the house.
We also see another vocabulary word here, explain. E-X-P-L-A-I-N. It's a verb and it means to make something clear to understand or to use details and to give more facts.
Okay.
For example, the teacher explained the meaning of the word by using sentences and examples to help us understand. Kind of like what we're doing.
Yeah, you just explained the word explain. All right. So we also saw the adjective unique here, which is spelled U-N-I-Q-U-E, unique. Remember that the Q here is going to sound a bit like a K. Now, in this sentence, unique means special or good. Now, for example, we could say, Jenny has the unique ability to touch her elbow with her tongue.
Wow, that is really
I can't do
good
it.
skill.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of us can do that.
No, can you do it?
All right, so next in the article it says, during the Japanese colonial period, it was a radio center named the Tainan Broadcasting Center.
Okay, so it wasn't always a film center then. It was a radio center before.
Right. We saw the word colonial, and colonial is just an adjective, and it describes a time period where countries like Japan or England, they set up colonies in other countries.
Right.
For example, Japan actually came to Taiwan, and the Japanese colonial period in Taiwan was around the 18th century or late 18th century until 1945.
Right. Okay. So what else could we say for colonial?
We can also use it in a sentence like this. We can say the colonial period in the U.S. lasted from the years 1607 to 1783.
Okay. Now, I come from one of the countries that belonged to colonial England. Well, part of it at least. Canada was also colonized by France, so we had two countries there colonizing Canada. Now some places in Canada speak French, some speak English, and some speak both English and French. Now, let's get back to our article, though. Canada's not really colonized anymore. You won't find a radio center in that building now, like we talked about. The article says the building was later turned into the Tainan Film Center in 2012. All right.
So next, the article then says, Tainan City's government signed a deal with Tainan National University of the Arts at this time.
Okay.
So they kind of changed the building around to do something different.
Right.
Okay, we see the word national here, N-A-T-I-O-N-A-L, national. And it relates to the whole nation or a whole country. So this university is basically supported by the government or the country of Taiwan.
Okay. Yeah. So it's something for all of Taiwan then.
Yep.
Okay.
We can also use it in an example sentence like this. Taiwan's government named the plum blossom as the country's national flower in 1964.
Ah, and what a beautiful flower it is. All right, so we saw the noun university in that sentence as well. University is spelled U-N-I-V-E-R-S-I-T-Y, university, and it's a place of education at the highest level. So after studying at university, you receive a degree. Now, we talk about university a lot because we're always working with students here, and a lot of them go to university. As an example, we could say, Hank's always wanted to be a doctor, so he's studying medicine at university. That's right. We can continue reading the article, and it says, the idea was to promote Tainan as a place to film movies at. I think it's a really beautiful place, and they're trying to promote it as that. Okay? When you promote something, P-R-O-M-O-T-E, it's a verb and it means to encourage people or to gain support for something. So it's basically saying, come to Tainan because it is a great place to film movies. Okay. Now, a lot of countries do that. Canada also promotes their filmmaking, so lots of people go to make movies in Canada.
But Canada's a really beautiful country, so it's really well-deserved, I think.
Yes.
All right, so next, let's take a look at an example sentence, actually. We can say the new restaurant promotes healthier food choices for its customers. So we really want people to eat healthy and to pick healthier foods instead of fast food, maybe.
Okay. So let's go back to the article. The article says, these days, the center promotes the TV and film industry, and it plays many films in its small theater. All right, so let's look at that noun industry here. It's spelled I-N-D-U-S-T-R-Y, industry, and it's a business that produces a particular type of thing or provides a particular service. So the film industry produces films or provides the ability to produce films. Another example could be, Jason works in the travel industry. He takes visitors from other countries on tours of Taiwan. So his industry is all about travel.
Right. Next, the article says, if you're a movie buff, it's worth checking out the Tainan Film Center sometime.
Movie buff.
Yeah. So what does that mean? Well, actually, this is our shortcut for you for today. Let's take a break and find out more from our friends.